Let's go, let's start the show.
Live.
Hi everyone, welcome to Maude. Let's go, let's start the show.
No,
Hi everyone, hear me twice. Shut up, Maude. Ugh. Hi everyone, welcome to Maude's Book Club. That was me blasting my own voice in my ear because the Twitch is live. Hi everyone, Twitch. Would you stop? Why does it unmute? Why would you do that? We've got a big chunky book. We are actually going to be doing part 1, part 2, part 3 for Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson because it's over 1,000 pages, but it's got so many maps and pictures. We love this. Loving all this. Oh, that's so pretty. That's wait. We're just gonna go through the whole book like this. No, look at this one. Oh, glossy page. What is that? It just keeps pulling out. Look, this is like a lot more land than we thought. Is this
Maude, go to page 410. It's the last page before we would have stopped. 410.
410 is?
Yeah.
Oh, 410. What's that? Is that a spoiler? Spoiler. To page 394. Nice. Thanks, Toaster Poster. I love that the Toaster Poster at this stage is just doing the Discord sound bites for us in the chat. Hi, everyone. Welcome to August. We are doing... Can the stream hear us?
194.
Wait. No, the stream can't hear muting and unmuting. No, you're all good there. For those that don't know, we are doing a stream on Twitch, broadcasting. Oh my God, I think we're actually on YouTube as well. Did I do that? Did I press that button? Did I toggle it on over? Are we also on YouTube? Yeah, we are. Shout out to the 6 people watching over on YouTube because it is a forgotten temple over there. It is an abandoned warehouse, but if you're in there, I've got the chat open and KP said hi and stuff. So yeah, cool. We've got all things happening, including Oathbringer. Now, we have done all the other books thus far up to this point, including Edge Dancer, which is about book 2.5. So it's a lot of Stormlight Archive. If you don't like it, this is going to be a slog. If you are a fan of it, welcome. What note do you think that was? That was quite deep. How did I get there without struggling? Is she stalling already? Google Hangouts are a wasteland. Dude, Skype. RIP. Whatever happened? When was the last time you said the word Skype? 8 years ago. Exactly. Let's talk about Oathbringer. We've got the Google document happening. Where did I put it out of all of my screens? Where are you, Google Doc? There you are. I found you. All right, what is happening in here? Oathbringer is the 3rd volume in the New York Times bestselling Stormlight Archive. Humanity faces a new desolation with the return of the voidbringers, a foe with numbers as great as their thirst for vengeance. Dalinar Kholin's Alethi armies won a fleeting victory at a terrible cost. The enemy Parshendi summoned the violent Everstorm, which now sweeps the world with destruction, and in its passing awakens the once peaceful and subservient Parshmen to the horror of their millennia-long enslavement by humans. While on a desperate flight to warn his family, of course it's Kaladin. Well, both work. While on a desperate flight to warn his family of the threat, Kaladin Stormblessed must come to grips with the fact that the newly kindled anger of the Parshmen may be kind of justified. Nestled in the mountains high above the storms in the tower city of Urithiru is what I'm looking for that one. Urithiru. As Shallan Devar investigates the wonders of the ancient stronghold of the Knights Radiant and unearths dark secrets lurking in its depths. And Dalinar realizes that his holy mission to unite his homeland of Alethkar was just too narrow in scope. Unless all the nations of Rashar can put aside Dalinar's blood-soaked past and stand together, and unless Dalinar himself can confront that past, even the restoration of the Knights Radiant will not prevent the end of civilization. Dun, dun, dun! We are 1/3 of the way. Urithiru. Yeah, I like the spelling that you've got, academic. You're on YouTube too. Big Preston's over there on YouTube. Stephanie Press is back saying, hi, y'all. Sorry I'm late. I just got back from work. I'm now sitting down with some dinner. I have a policy around here. If you're eating dinner, you have to tell me what it is. I like hearing about food, so much so that we actually have a food channel on the Discord, which is free. Pop on by. Catch. It's a wave. It is a flood. It is a of names. Catch 22 has my favorite thing about this is that I have a video of Catch in a Discord video call at the moment, and this is what he looks like when he's dropping 22 subs and gifting them to the community. I don't have a hat on, but it's like doesn't blink, doesn't move. I can't even see, like, it's just brr. Thanks, Catch. Do you want to know who you gifted subs to? To K Frito. K Frito's in here, and so is Laffy Taffy. You guys both got gifted subs thanks to Catch 22. Make sure you say thank you, because we're nice around here. Oh my God, Lucky here. Kalose, Debossimi. Oh, like the boss of me. The boss is me. Ugh. Joe Alberto by Yukiyu, Duke the Almighty, Helonian, who's also in streams and in the Discord. Biuko, what happened? Biuko. Awesome Bomber, Bilato, Catnip Ninja, Pianki, who should be in here. Yay! I already said thank you. Would you look at that? Tashay, Shlo, the Latash, Billy Sunrider, who's usually in here talking about the nerdy stuff, 316 the King, Dr. Lovinace, and Ford Cross. All got gifted a sub thanks to Catch22. Thank you, Catch. Really appreciate that. KPW's resubscribed for 53 months. Holy dooly. And Sharuni has just followed. Greg Kenzo's jumping in the bandwagon for gifting some subs to the community as well, with Dylan Finite, Macedon Gamer, Dusk, Rift Ninja, and Stormshanks. Thank you so much to Greg. If you did get gifted one, you make sure you say thank you as well. Bartleby Prime says, I'm not sure why, but the Stormfather's voice as I was reading this is in Patrick Warburton's voice. You know what? The kind of books that we've been doing around here, if it's not in Patrick Warburton's voice, that's the question you should be asking. Why is it not? So let's talk about this book. Look, we are going through points of views, 3 main POVs here. Dalinar, Shallan, Kaladin. Now, this is kind of on par with the previous books. So far, KP Dubs is gifting subs. Bootsy McWhisker, it's actually a good name. JCLL, Neek, I'm Young, Tendentiousness, and For Real Prince, and Wrongtown all got gifted a sub. Thanks to KP Dubs. If you got gifted a sub, thank KP. You go thank him. You say thank you. We say thank you around here. I say thank you. Thank you so much for gifting subs to the community. What is that hype train up to? It's about to tell me right now. Hype train incoming. What do you mean incoming? There's like 9,000 gifted subs that I've just read out all these usernames, which is sometimes level 6. Holy dooly. That's fun. KVW says, oh, you don't have to thank me.
Execute Order 66.
Nice. Hey, speaking of 6, that's actually a good segue. We start off this book 6 years ago. And then the next portion of time is 6 days ago. So we are currently in the timeline where 6 years ago is the party where the Parshendi killed Galavar. Robin says, what is on your sweater? How cute is it? I love it so much. It's by Black Milk Clothing. Of course it is. You know me. I love Pokemon. It's Pikachu! It's beautiful, says Vaden. Stargirl says, oh my God, I love it. I know. It's pretty perfect. It's perfect. It's a perfect sweater. We're clipping this and sending this to Black Milk, obviously. But yeah, it's great. It's good stuff. Hey, okay. 6 numbers, points of views. We're a third of the way in. Video chat, written chat. Is book good so far? Who's going to tell me? Is book good?
Oh, yeah. Book's awesome.
I'm loving it too. Vaden, what are you loving about this?
Oh, everything. We still get tons more world building. It never ends. We get what I really like, especially though, is just like the development of the characters. Like we learn more about the plot, but it's seeing Shallan, Dalinar especially, because you get to see his past a lot more now. We actually understand what happened to him in the past, what he was going through, and now we can learn about a little bit more about his wife, which has always been a huge mystery.
Evie.
So, yes,
that's an Evie story, isn't it? Oh, it would be worse if I didn't say a bad pun with that one, I feel like, at this stage. Baila Toe is in the YouTube saying, book good. Lisa, you're saying something very similar. Oh my God, Jimmy. What is that? Is that a Squirtle? Like up close into the camera? Oh, he's just a little guy, but he's very close. Lisa, you saying you love the Dalinar backstory. You love learning who old Dalinar was. Tell me about if book is good for you. Tell me book good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely good. This is a reread for me, but I think that's why I like this book so much, is you get so much of how Dalinar became who he is in this book, and I just love it.
Yeah, Daddy Dalinar. Darian liked that one. Good. Okay, the Dalinar chapters are your favorite. Who else has got comments on first impressions of this one so far? Robin said Shallan and Adolin banter. Give me more. No mating. Favorite parts. There was laugh out loud moments for me with that. Patton, usually I don't really like Kate Reading's impression of Patton, but like given the direction and how it's written, I absolutely understand why Patton would sound like that. Now I actually really dig Patton. Patton's cool. It is interesting, like all of these discussions, like Brandon Sanderson's kind of gotten a little bit more comfortable and like understanding that people do smooch. People do actually like each other, and babies get made, and he kind of has to address it, and he is, and it's in really laugh out loud funny ways that it's happening. Colleen says, love this book. This is my second read, but I'd forgotten so much. What were the standouts this time around? Reading it as if it was for the first time, Colleen?
I would say I'd forgotten so much of Kaladin's story with the Parshman. And as I was reading it, I put this in the Discord chat, but as I was reading it, the way he related to the Parshman and helped him reminded me of the St. Patrick's Battalion in the Mexican-American War.
I was actually going to have a really big conversation about this, and we will get into it, where it's like, why is this part of the book, and why are these chapters, and why is Kaladin's perspective so important? And I really love these moments where it's like, and I have it a lot. Like there's a big part of the ENFP personality type on Myers-Briggs where it's like you find yourself having a debate about something, but then you realize that like one person's argument is also almost like the flip side and the same thing, and you kind of understand both sides of it, and you're like, oh wow, this is actually kind of complex. And seeing both sides of it, it's like neither is wrong. Like, what do we do? How, like the big picture of it all. So that's a lot of fun. Katie Brush says, book is good. I like the backstory for this book too. Kepi Dubs has gifted Vanessa the Porg a gift sub in here. So Vanessa, if you're in the chat, you've got access to emojis, but I'm looking at you right now. You are in the video call. Hi, Vanessa. Is book good? Are you reading this one?
I am. It's really good. It's really good. We've had to get through quite a bit to make it this far, but yeah. But I am enjoying it. I didn't love the flashbacks to Dalinar, because it's sort of like, I feel like he's evolved so much. I want to know more about what's going on now. But I also really enjoyed that Kaladin is sort of like helping the Parshendi instead of them just being the bad guys.
Yes. There's a lot of layers and it's quite complex. That's kind of what I like about Dalinar, though, is that we've got a really strong sense of who he is. He's very Ned Stark. We've always said this about his character. Present day Dalinar has tunnel vision and is so inept at gossip and rumor and reputation, and is so focused on honor and doing what's right. And as we all know in Game of Thrones, that gets you killed pretty fast. So I actually think it's really interesting knowing who he is now and just how different that was. He and Adolin have a very similar kind of legacy. And I now understand Adolin more, knowing what Dalinar was like in his past. You don't agree with me, academic. There was a shaking of the head like this. Why? Why is that? I want to hear about it.
Because I feel like you're right. Dalinar's legacy was a lot more shaky, a lot more bloody than Ned Stark's, kind of, give or take, like morally speaking. Mm-hmm. And he has changed over time, and it seems like Adolin has benefited from a lot of that healing, and his legacy is built upon the foundation of a father who's gone through that journey and has, for some reason, come out on the other side. So, like, Dalinar has done some healing, and that has passed down to the next generation, who's not perfect, but that is a story that I think is playing out in the wider Cosmere.
I wonder, because we are now I see them as like almost two different people. There's Dalinar and there's Blackthorn. And we knew about the legacy of the Blackthorn, and now we're really seeing inside his head. Darian, you've got thoughts on this?
Yeah, just to build on that, I posted it in the show chat, the book chat a few days ago, that it's like a complete 180, like Dalinar, his personality. So like, to do like a Game of Thrones reference, he's Ned Stark now, but he might have been Robert Baratheon like 30 years ago, essentially. It was like just this warmonger. He was just kind of driven by, instinct and, his base urges, and now he's this introspective
he's guy. Bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
He is menacing. He but the thing is, it's like Dalinar really, if you look at what is the similarities between both versions of Blackthorn and Dalinar, this guy's tunnel vision is so zeroed in. And when it's Blackthorn, it's fighting, killing, war. Well, when it's Dalinar,
the barbarian,
it's like truth. And it's like you're telling a religious society that their god is dead. Like, what you're saying is heresy. What you are doing is making yourself sound like a madman. You are being gifted visions and you're trying to unite a force, but people know you as the man that killed their kids.
Yeah.
Like,
and on top of that, he's marrying his sister-in-law.
And that is like
defying social conventions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not helping matters at all.
What do you guys think in that? Oh, hold on. We're going way too fast. I love it. Tangent. I do want to address the YouTube chat because Vanessa, you and I are in the same boat where it's like we had to read a lot to get here. And it's like if you were just joining us for book 3, there were 2.5 books that you needed to catch up on to get to this point. And these books are 2.5 books each in their own right. So yes, it's really hard. And then you've got Stephanie Press in the YouTube saying, book good. I just got this from the library and I read all 38 chapters in one day before work. So I'm so impressed. I read that as Vanessa and I, like when literally Vanessa was just like, we got here. We read it, but we got here in the end. And Steph's just like, yep, one day, bruh, what's next? So I thought that was really, really funny. We're just talking, is book good? What are your initial thoughts? We're learning about Dalinar's history. I really think that it's interesting if you're enjoying the flashbacks or if you actually prefer present day Dalinar. Is he still your favorite character or was he ever your favorite character? Which one is? Are they all so different that you don't have to choose? Because there's also Kaladin. Now, Kaladin has gone through a lot. Kaladin's story was, wanting to become a surgeon and follow his father's footsteps. There was recruitment. What is it when it's like conscription? There was a conscription happening, a mandatory conscription where, young men were enlisted. His brother did, so he volunteered to try and protect his brother. Oh, I was about to womp. Womp womp, his brother died. And then Kaladin's like, oh no, I couldn't save my brother. Now I have to save everyone. And it turns out that he ended up becoming enslaved because he killed someone wearing plate armor and had a oh my God, why can't I figure out what that's called? A blade sword. What is it called?
A shard blade.
Shard blade.
Shard blade.
Thank you, guys. Goodness me. And he, with was it plate armor and a shard blade, or was it just the shard blade?
The blade for sure.
Yeah, I think it was just the blade, if not both.
I think the blade and the armor.
It was both.
The
Anyway,
blade was the big thing.
yeah, and that was in Amaram's. There was Amaram who was leading that sort of part of this area. We found out it was from Shallan's brother. That's who Kaladin killed. Shallan's brother won the shard blade. Amaram's like, no, you didn't. I need this more, and sentenced his entire section of soldiers to death. And instead of killing him, Amaram was nice enough to make him a slave. So he got slave branded and has spent the entire time in Sadius's war camp as a part of Bridge 4. How does Bridge 4 make you guys feel? Like, have you got enough of a grasp of all of the people in Bridge 4? Could you name 5?
Yeah.
All I know is they make really good chili there. That's about it.
Sure do. And now Shiki too. Lunamore forever, says KP Dubs. All right, so there was Moash. Taft. Rock.
Lopin.
Sigzil.
Dre's gay. Dre's gay. You can never forget that now, guys. Dre's gay. Scar.
Hopper.
What was that last one? Hopper. Who?
Hopper.
Verlaine.
Isn't he the one that lost his legs?
Hopper.
Dabbit.
Hobber. Buttery
Hobber,
Prime
yeah.
saying Chachi, the Fonz, Alf. Yeah, they're not ringing a bell. Pianki says Rock, Lopin, Teft, Moash, Sigzol, Kaladin. Okay, so we're starting to learn more and more about Bridge 4, and Renarin is in Bridge 4, everyone. And the way that they've taken him in Bridge 4 is so beautiful. There is something really Renarin. Kevin Doves, out, get out. There is something really, really sweet about Renarin being accepted in that particular way. And it is this found family trope, right? It's like, where did all of these people come from? In what walks of life? They're outcasts. They are rejected. They are sentenced to, die almost. So it's really lovely seeing all of their stories.
Maude's World.
Why did that one come in? I'm Bridge 4? Everyone's talking about Lopin being down for a while, but he's good now. It sounds like Hopper. It's not, it's Hobber. I know some of the audio pronunciations, like I didn't know if it was, I thought it was Ebby, not Evie.
A guy without working legs named Hopper would be really mean.
Well, not in Australia. That would be a given if you're in Australia and you had one leg. Like that's just how it goes.
I just assumed it was a joke because he didn't use his legs, but
I remember I was doing a drill. It was for a video game, and EA decided to send game journalists and content creators to do an army drill thing. I fucking hated it. It was the worst day of my life. All the guys were like, man, testosterone. I was like, I've cried behind 3 trees already. Like, I hate this so much. We had to do like sniper training. We had to do the camouflage stuff. And like, I just couldn't do it. I hated it. And the drill sergeants yelled at me. And you know how it's like, there's a stereotype. So by looks, if you had one leg, you would be Hopper. In my case, I was Barbie. And I got yelled at as Barbie the entire time. And I was just, they just try to degrade you as much as possible, which is so fun when you're like, wait, we're on the same team and you need me to be good at this so we can win a war? Yeah, you're going to win a war by making me do push-ups? Okay. Anyway, that's just a long-winded story to say if you're in Australia, you will be ridiculed for something. And that is our love language. We are not tan. It's just because everyone gets roasted. Okay, cool. Bilato in the YouTube is saying that there's Scar and there's Dre. Now, this is news to me. I would have just thought it was, Dr. Dre, D-R-E. It's not, it's D-R-Y-H-E. But you'll never forget him now because Dre is gay. And it was half a sentence. It was discussed in the book. I latched onto that because Sigil is homophobic, but not misogynistic. Wasn't that a combo? That was a left-right uppercut that I wasn't ready for. I'm like, Sig, what? Anyway, we'll talk about it. We're literally just going through the POVs, is book good, and what happens in the first part, really, up to chapter 38. Or 410 if you're reading the book, which is a book length already. We also have Shallan. Shallan's, what have you liked about Shallan's POVs so far? She's having cutie Adolin time, as Robin was saying earlier.
I loved her when she became Veil and she went to the bars and ended up stabbing someone.
She stabbed a guy through his hand.
Yeah. She also drank so much, blacked out almost.
Oh, yeah.
The ridiculousness of it.
We haven't yet. Relaine, the Parshendi. Now, KB Dubs, is that Relaine, is that the chosen name? Because it was Sen. So it's no longer Sen and Relaine is the chosen name. Fantastic.
Right. They called him Shen, but when whether he got his consciousness back or dropped the disguise, he said, my name is Arlane or Relaine or however they pronounce it.
Relaine? Relaine. Yeah, Relaine. Yeah. Pianki says, I really like the way that she's expanding her light weaving abilities. This is something that I will say about every single book anytime powers are explored. I fucking love it when people learn about their superpowers. It is the coolest thing ever. Now, this one's quite complex and a little bit murky because it's not like we're given the rules and then we see it played out. We are discovering bits and pieces and then finding out what they're called. So if you're like me, you need a little bit of a hand with there's Knights Radiant and then there's different factions, orders. And then those orders, there's 10 of those. And then they all have different abilities. And those abilities and then there's Spren. And those Spren turn into a blade, but not an honor blade because that's a different system from Heralds, which are above the Knights Radiant. Are we good? We're still following? It's a lot. So I'm going to, do we want to do it now? We haven't really spoken more about Shallan. Shallan's having cool Adolin moments. Shallan is becoming Veil and now Radiant. Shallan is suppressing trauma by literally masking. This is possibly the most boop boop on the nose, literal form of how you suppress trauma. And why does she want to become someone else so bad? Because she cannot face what she's done in her past. And she will have many spirals. And so as a way to cope, she literally becomes someone else. And what I find really interesting, she actually killed her mother. Okay, yeah, cool. What I think is interesting about that is it's not just masking, which is what you're projecting out. It's actually, these nails look so good. It's actually, so that cat eye, it's so, look at that. It's inside as well. She's completely becoming a different person with personality traits and backstory and history. She's not wearing different clothing or a different face. She's completely transforming. So that's a lot of fun.
It's like an actual personification, a representation of DID.
Yes.
Identity disorder. And
yeah,
she has just taken it to a new level and actually created semi-physical personalities.
No, she completely changes her physical appearance. That's what she's able to completely transform. But you're right. If you were to look at it, how do you suppress trauma? You become someone else. And that is exactly what DID is. Funny story. I have to say this because this book has rocked my world. I read nonfiction. It's called The Anxious Generation. And it basically talks about how everything changed when we got a smartphone. One of the things that happened was obviously men's behavior got really kind of angry and violent with video games and pornography, and girls were introduced to personality disorders and would adopt traits to feel special. And the increase in girls coming to therapy saying they have DID went up something like 2,000%. So there you go. There's a fun fact. Robin said that was such a depressing book. Depressing, yes. Mind-blowing, also yes. Like, we're so fucked. And it's way too late. But the data in that book is so shocking that I cannot believe that schools allow phones. And I also cannot believe that anyone under 16 is allowed to have a phone. Like, it is shocking. Academic says, I love Jonathan Haidt books. Sprinkle says, hey, therapy helps, y'all. The Happy Hypocrite. First time chatter says Shallan can only add light weavings over her real self. But it's sinking in deeper and deeper, though, Hypocrite. This is what we're noticing. She starts to be like, she uses her sketches to draw what the face and body and the shape of the external will be. And in this book, she is now starting to determine the personality trait and the role of that person. So when she becomes Radiant, she's like, Radiant wouldn't worry about A, B, C, D. So we're not even going to worry about that. Radiant would actually be formal enough to call Adilin his title. And she has to kind of tweak and change that. Veil will go in and start picking fights. Veil will sketch in her gang symbol to threaten people. Like, Shallan would never do any of that. Yes, Darian?
She's method acting.
Pretty much. But I almost feel like it's not a cognizant thing. She's so in this role that she acts it out because that's what they would do, and then almost reflects going, did I actually just do that? Oh my God. Well, I know that's what Vale would do, but I just can't believe that I stabbed a man through his hand to make a point. So that's actually really cool as well. I don't know why Greg and Darian, your last message in YouTube retracted, and I'm not sure why, if that was just a link or something or why it's not known, but I'm figuring out YouTube again, so there you go. She's like the movie Beast with multiple personalities. You mean Split with... That's the one. Yeah, exactly like that.
With Jimmy Max? Yeah.
What's the actor's name, though?
I call James McAvoy Jimmy Max.
James McAvoy. I like him a lot, actually. Shallan did not just stab his hand, says KP Dubs. She did it through her own hand to get to his. Yeah, it's psycho, like psychotic, absolutely. And she couldn't heal, but I don't think she did in that stage because she's like, no, Vale wouldn't heal this. Vale doesn't have access to stormlight, so this thing has to bleed a little bit more. I'll tell you what, though, having access to that stormlight, so important. She sucks a little stormlight in and she loses her hangover. Never been more jealous. If I were to use stormlight for one thing, I think it would be to cure hangovers before flight. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I would get 2 days back of happiness. So there you go. There is a question in the Google Doc. If you're a member of Book Club, you've got access to it. Red is Vaden. Vaden, you had a really cool thought about stormlight. What happens if the storm stopped? There was no more stormlight to use as fuel for the Radiant's powers. Would people actually have to start using electricity to use their abilities? Would lift become the only useful Radiant? Would others perhaps start using alternative sources of power like eating, as she does with food? I think the bad thing about the Everstorm is that there is desolation and destruction, but the good thing is that there are storms and often. So I guess let's break that down with the lore. Do the Voidbringers also need that power source? So is it like we need stormlight, so we'll make storms, the Everstorm, and we'll make sure that storms always exist, knowing that the Knights Radiant have access to it? Colleen, I'm going to go over to you. I didn't say this earlier, so I'd like to say it now. Your camera quality is so crisp and so clear that this is the best your camera's ever looked, and it's delightful. Did something change?
I set up a light. I've got like an LED light set up.
Girl.
Perfect.
It is working. I noticed you look flawless. And everyone else, maybe think about stepping up your game now that Colleen has done that. Have you thought about maybe that we want to put a little bit more effort into? Sorry, Colleen, let's talk about Stormlight.
Nobody wants to see me in high def.
Darian's got his phone out. Like, it actually does. It looks great. It looks great. Sorry, Colleen. I don't mean to distract everyone. Stormlight.
The Everstorm doesn't refuel Stormlight. Only the High Storm does. And
okay.
I think they mentioned that the voidbringers seem to have something kind of like an anti-Stormlight.
So KP Dubs has just written in the comments saying there was mention of sort of like a dark light coming out of the Voidbringers. Maybe the Everstorm gives them this dark light. Oh, so it's an opposite surcharge of power. Darian.
Yeah, just to build on that, my understanding is that the Everstorm comes from the opposite side and blows the opposite direction. So I was thinking it also cancels out the High Storm, so that actually diminishes their power source of recharger and everything with Stormlight as well.
That is interesting, though, that there's two separate. Do you think that that's got anything to do with sort of the different coloured spren? Because Kaladin's is blue. We've seen yellow with the Parshman. Yeah. There's red as well. We also have like a dark saber, which is how I'm picturing the mother of void. Kind of, what are we calling her? She's another Sharanan. I have it in my notes what her name is.
Midnight Mother.
Midnight Mother.
That's a very Star Wars type name for sure.
Mm-hmm. The Night Witches. Yes. Hi, T-Bones. I'm thinking if Stormlight makes radiance, wouldn't this dark light make dimmers or dinamons, says KP Dubs. I like that. I mean, that's what light and void, right? Void would be the opposite. If it's void of color, if it's void of light, it is a void. Yeah. This is cool. Okay, let's go through what these knights and orders are. Now, this is going to feel a little homeworky. And pretend I'm writing on a whiteboard for everyone because I'm about to teach you some shit. We've got number 1, the first thing that we saw, the Wind Runners. So this is so far Kaladin and some of Bridge 4. Who do we know so far that is able to consume Stormlight out of Bridge 4? And why are we thrilled that it's Lopen? High five, buddy. KP Dub says, look, at this point, most of them. Yeah, Rock can now as well, I believe. He had a little, ooh.
Cobber just did.
Mm-hmm. Got his leg back. Moash got his arm back. Renarin's doing a lot of the healing as well, I think. We're thrilled that it's Lopen because we get double the jokes, says Academic. Love it. He sounds Aussie to me. He sounds like an Outback kind of dude. Outside of Bridge 4, also Zeth. Exactly. Most of the original crew. Mm-hmm. Except the most, now that Moash is gone, the most competent spearman, Scar, can't. Or was he able to? I thought he was the one who just couldn't get there yet. Zeth gets his powers from the Honor Blade, says Academic. KPC says, Renarin is, of course, a Radiant, or is he something else? He has a different order. Let's go through them. So, Windrunners, the surges are gravitation. So there's flight and adhesion to surfaces. There's also adhesion with pressure, vacuum effect, and sticking objects together. The primary role, aerial mobility. So they're great for scouting, fast travel, and striking from above. They are protectors. Windrunners are instinctively driven to defend people, often to a fault, which is why Kaladin is leading them all. Versatile fighters. They can engage at range, throwing weapons mid-flight, or in close combat. So what have we seen so far? Kaladin rescuing people from dangerous situations in Way of Kings and Words of Radiance, and in Oathbringer he continues to play the role of protector in the Colin army. Colin, not colon. I hear they're a bit shitty. Breach 4 is beginning to learn basic lashings. Most of them not quite there yet. We also have Shallan's Order Light Weavers. So this is illumination, light, sound illusions, transformation, soul casting, changing one substance to another. The primary role is deception and infiltration. Now, whose nerdy brain is going, oh, Windrunners are obviously rogues. Windrunners are more roguelike, or like they're monks. Let me go. They're more of a monk class. What are we thinking? Academic's not there. Windrunners are monk class. Academic, fighter class. Fighter monk. Monk fighter. Hybrid. Final answer. Lightweavers, subterfuge. Rogue, specializing in deception. Specializing in illusion. Or they have access to illusionary magic. So they've only got illusion spells. So like Mage Hand or, you know, whatever the prestidigitation. I said that in one go. That's fun. So their primary role is deception and infiltration. So there's illusions for disguise, misdirection and espionage. Support and morale. Their art and storytelling can inspire or manipulate. And problem solving. So soul casting obviously can create food supplies and alter the environment. So what have we seen so far? Shallan creates complex illusions for infiltration, confusing enemies, and hiding allies. She also can become other people. She's fucking not a good time to stop. I usually say a swear word when I'm about to make the point. Mystique! Took a second to get there. Using soul casting strategically, like creating structures or destroying obstacles, is something that we've seen already. What did we cover in the last book? 2.5, Edge Dancers. That is another order. So Lift is the Edge Dancer that we've seen with this. The surges are progression, so healing and growth, and abrasion, which is sliding and friction and control. Their primary role is that they're able to slip through the battlefield. They can heal allies. We've seen Lift heal people as well. So they're skirmishers, high mobility, and the ability to run up walls and across the ground silently. In a MOBA, Vaden, I think you play MOBA games. Was there like a class in LOL or something like that, which is what an Edge Dancer would be closest to?
I mean, I haven't played League of Legends in a long time, but I'm trying to think.
Oh, here we go. Marvel Rivals. She is the ice pop star.
Luna.
Luna. Yeah, there you go. Great. She's Luna Slow, but younger and more brash. What have we seen so far? Yeah, she can slip through tight spaces, she can heal civilians, and she can evade enemies. Her food-based stormlight consumption is unique, but it's actually not universal to said order. What are we starting to learn about? Oh no, I'll go into number 6, bondsmiths, because that's Dalinar Colin's order. He is a bondsmith. What do they do? I hope I'm not spoiling, but this is just educational, and I figure we need to know anyway. So this is what a bondsmith is, which is Dalinar. They have adhesion and tension surges, so they can control over bonds, uniting or manipulating physical connections. Their primary roles are unifiers, so they are leaders who inspire and bring together disparate peoples. So I'm thinking paladin. Like,
yeah.
Dalinar's a paladin big time, right? They form bonds. They unite, says KP Dubs. Yeah, bondsmith. Some of the powers include the unique powers. Each bondsmith is tied to a specific powerful spren. In Dalinar's case, it is the Stormfather. There are 2 other words in there that I believe are spoilers. So if you want to be spoiled, look at the document. I won't read them out. What have we seen so far with Dalinar? He's used adhesion for powerful effects. Did he use spiritual adhesion to speak any language yet, or did I spoil that? Ooh, exciting. It might happen. Forming moral and political alliances between nations. He's actually not really crushing that in part 1. He kind of fucking sucks. He's really not a good political leader, and his charisma is at like, he's been rolling steady 5s this whole time. Darren says Dalinar joined powers with Shallan to make the map. Yes, we also saw that, which is great. Did I swear? Oop. KP says, my guess for way later, they could bring a group of Radiants together to give all the powers to one, kind of like Odium's champion. With the 9 shadows, they have 10 orders. I like that.
Yeah, so if he can bond things, he could somehow bond all the powers into one person.
Yeah, I like that. That's a Dalinar like coded thing as well. That's what he would for sure do.
Like a Mega Knight. He is like, you know, a Megazord for Knights Radiant.
He's the head and body of Voltron. I love it. Great. Academic says there's actually a ton of information that we learn about Dalinar in this book that hasn't quite happened yet. No, we're seeing him fail first. We are seeing him boss around the Stormfather, who's like, kindly please stop telling me what to do, fuck you. And he's just like, Dalinar's just like, I've got no sense of orderly conduct. You know, I'm not listening to you at all. Shit needs to happen, and so I'm going to go through this. Also, Happy Hypocrite, thanks so much for following as well. How's my chat going? AP says, hey, smash that like button if you haven't done it yet. Thank you for helping me do that. Thanks for the reminder. Dalinar will act as the political heart of the Radiance. So he is already kind of like the leader of Radiance at this particular moment. Oh my gosh, now little love hearts are being splayed all over the chat when you do that. That's really cute. Oh, Darian says Dalinar even imposes his will on a sentient storm that is the power source for the world. Yeah, Daddy Dalinar. Other ones that we're starting to learn about, else callers. Who's an else caller? Yasna. Yasna Colin has what we've discovered now. Robin, if you're in here, get out. We are not. Yasna Colin can traverse through. Yas Queen, says KP Dubs, can basically travel between realms and has transformation, which is soul casting. So what have we seen so far? World hopping, infiltration, and extraction. There's soul casting for construction or destruction, and scholarship and leadership is a primary role of else callers. They value wisdom and deliberate action. So what have we seen so far? Yasna is escaping the Shadesmar, reappearing at critical moments, and then using soul casting in precise and deadly ways. I will say out of all of these orders, else callers feels like the worst one personally. But so far, has there been an order that appeals to you? Who do you think's got the coolest order? Okay.
Else caller.
No way. No way, Vaden. Okay, but that's your role. You can have it. Yay. You can
teleport between realms and you can transform things like
She took a book. She took 1,200 pages to come back. She took 1,200 pages of a Brandon Sanderson book to make her way back.
She has a reading to do. It's fine.
She's a studier. Exactly. She's like, I'm in a new place. Did a Janeway. She's like, oh, we're 80,000 light years from home, but we're going to stay here and look around before we go back.
She is like a Janeway. I like that a lot. Baz says, Yasna makes else callers look good. Just you wait. I like that. Academics like, hey, maybe there was an issue that prevented her from coming back. Nah, I'm going to say she took the scenic route. Lisa says the edge dancers are the best. Who wouldn't want to be awesome? Agree. We took the personality tests in the last book, says Toaster Poster. We sure did. What was mine? I can't even remember anymore. I think I was an else caller. Checks out for me. What else have we seen? Truth Watchers, Renar and Colin. There's a lot of Colins happening here. Do you think it is a bloodline thing? Do you think it is a genetic thing? How do we think that people become a knight? What legacy is it? Or is it because Daddy Colin's kind of like run the roost? Truth Watchers are pretty mess, says Academic. Okay, well, Truth Watchers, what do they do? Illumination and progression. So they are law keepers, secret holders, and healers. But Renarin's abilities are ... different. He feels different. He seems different. I am different. Why am I so different? We're learning more about that. So far, what we've seen is that Renarin can heal. And dude has visions. We know that he's been seeing visions as well, but he doesn't really. KB Dubs is like, hey, bitch, they all heal. Sorry, you did all caps. That's how I heard it. They all heal. Every single one can heal. That's what Stormlight is. You use Stormlight to heal. Renarin, so everyone can heal them. Renarin can heal others. Stormlight. People use Stormlight to heal themselves, but Renarin can actually use Stormlight to heal others. So can Edge Dancers, though. That's what Lift can do. Lift is healing others. There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Wait, what's yours, Maude? Have you said?
Wait, Renarin, we're kind of alluding to the fact that he's seeing different versions of potential futures. And that is the number one superpower I would want as present day Maude. I want the superpower of when there's a decision, academics say you don't want any surprises at all, do you? Absolutely not, because I have... Nope, this is not therapy. I would like, if I'm to make a decision, I would like to see future threads of like, will that happen? Will that happen? Will that happen? And I'm like, ooh, that's the path I want to take. Academic is like, stop that immediately. All right, let's go. In the red corner.
Hey, all I'm seeing, what I'm seeing here is anxiety-inducing decision fatigue with that power. Are you kidding me? Like,
because you get the answers. You have the answers. Is it A, B, or C?
But you don't have the answers. You have what might happen. So you're like, I think I want this, and now you're stuck in like, oh, I thought this was gonna happen because if I did this, but then it didn't actually turn out that way because people can do different things, or I didn't look far enough. Like, I'm not Doctor Strange. I'm not looking down 2 million different timelines to figure out the actual right path, right? So I don't want that. Don't put that juju on me. That's ridiculous.
That's okay. We have to form the Avengers. I'm okay to be Doctor Strange. Move over, Renarin. I'm the strange one now. So I don't mind Renarin's power. KB says, I think Renarin's power is to make others see different things, thus making do things that they do not realize they are doing, which is why Shallan does not remember several sketches. Oh, okay. Interesting. So I think that these are the ones that we've seen. Oh, no, there is another one. Skybreakers. Who thought Zeth was a wind runner? He is Skybreaker. Skybreakers use gravitation and division. They can destroy matter at a molecular level. Their primary role is law enforcers, which is why the Herald of Justice is the, is he the number one Skybreaker? And why he's passing that on to Zeth. Basically, they follow strict codes or their own definition of law. To deliver judgment, nail, darkness, Skybreakers. They're mobile assassins as well. They can fly and destroy materials with division. I don't think we've really seen that yet. What we have seen, though, is Nail pursuing justice with lethal efficiency and Zeth joining them at the end of Words of Radiance, training to use division. Okay, we have seen it. Fantastic. So what are these roles in the big picture as seen so far? We got frontline fighters, which are your windrunners and your skybreakers. So they're more your melee combat. Your tactical support and disruption are going to be your light weavers, your edge dancers, and your truth watchers. Your strategic leaders and movers are your bondsmith and else callers. And then your healers are your trust watchers and your edge dancers, and maybe some light weaving in there as well. I, as a nerd that plays video games, eats this shit up. I love that. I love the tactical roles in combat, strengths and weaknesses, knowing that... Oh. No, they didn't, Colleen. And Lisa knew because Lisa's read ahead. And now I'm wondering what that is, but I guess it's a spoiler. Ooh. I want to know what that is. Colleen.
Sorry, I thought they mentioned it. It's really hard because...
You've read them
all the way through the series, so
you've read them. Are you rereading? Are you rereading Oathbringer? Oh, you are.
Yes.
Fucking hell. Can I just shout out to anyone who's reading a 1,200-page book for the second or even third time? Like, well done. RIP your book count for the year, but like your page count is phenom. So anyway, they're all the orders. They're all the... So far, the abilities. I feel like there's a lot of overlap. They're not clear lanes. Yeah, there's a lot of overlap where it's like, we kind of do this. And it's like, yeah, they're blobs of overlappy. Darren says each order shares one power with another. Why do you think they do that? Every Radiant has a primary and secondary power. So yes, overlap. Yeah. So if you were to pick and choose your primary and secondary powers, what would they be? I could get down with a little bit of teleport if it was like a secondary thing.
It's mix and match, huh? Okay.
Fly and heal, says KP. Happy Hypocrite says there's 10 powers, 2 for each order. Okay, so it's starting to make a little bit more sense. The problem is we're learning as they're learning, and they don't have a teacher and there is no rule book. So we're all kind of like figuring it out as we go. Heal and teleport. Yeah, heal and teleport's actually pretty good, Jimmy. I agree with you for that one. All right, fun times. Okay, so let's get back into the 3 main things that are happening through chapters 1 to 38. We have Dalinar's coalition mission, establishing alliances across Rashar to face the looming Everstorm and the awakening of the Voidbringers. You've got Kaladin's return, traveling to Hearthstone and witnessing changes in the Parshman, now evolving under the Everstorm's influence, and Shallan's investigation, exploring Irithiru's secrets, confronting the Unmade, and continuing to develop her light-weaving abilities. Which of these is your favorite so far? Who wants to talk about what? Yes, Darian.
I'm enjoying the Kaladin stuff the most. For one, he's getting a new perspective on his enemy. It's nothing is black and white. It's, he's seeing them as actual people, which is giving him an existential crisis.
I know. It's so important, though. It's so important.
Also, very satisfying moment where he just punched the hell out of I can't remember the Lord's name. But we know
no, it's Roshan.
I was so happy for that to happen.
I have in my notes. This is this made me like cheer and hoop. I was loving this in all capitals. I was like, this was such a badass moment. And I think I'm going to do a video on TikTok about this particular thing. All of Words of Radiance, as soon as Kaladin gets a second shard blade, the thing that like cost him his livelihood when Amaram decided to take it from him, he finally actually wins one and gives it to Moash. There is something that's like, I remember that moment and I was like, what are you doing? And he hated what it represented. He hated this shard blade and the dishonor around it. And he didn't want sort of like that blood on his hands. He didn't want that level of power in a way as well. So in this moment, yes, Faden?
Oh, just yeah, power could be part of it. I think he's also just like he had a bad reaction to touching. Like he feels that it's wrong. Like he can see because of his friend. He knows that something's wrong with the blade and he shouldn't be touching it. Like it's unethical in some way.
Renarin had the same thing. There was screaming when he touched the blade. And we're learning more and more about the fact that, hey, Spren are weapons. They are the weapons and they turn.
I think even if he didn't have that reaction, if he wasn't aware of that, the screams and stuff, he'd have still turned down the blade and given it away. That's just how he is.
Yeah. And like, he gave it to the wrong person, let's be honest. Like Moash... Early days Moash would have been great, but Moash's path of vengeance was just way too much. Yeah. KP Dubs is also talking about the Rashon moments with the soldiers where Kaladin is in authority mode. And I loved this. He's going back to his hometown. His parents are treating him like he's a child again. Oh, my boy is back. And he's kind of regressing back into being a boy again, because this is where he grew up. This is where he was like sort of allowed to be a child. And the last time he was a child. And I would say that was a really interesting moment. And like, that's why I wrote it down, where I was like, when you go back to your hometown and you see your parents, even after you've moved out, do you fall back into sort of like the roles of previously when you were a kid or a teenager? Does this happen? Does anyone relate to that? A little bit,
I live at
says
home,
Tim.
so I can't. Yeah.
So you're still there.
I really saw it when I went down to live with my in-laws. It was like my ex suddenly became a teenager again.
Right.
And was just, they completely took over. And he completely did whatever he used to do as a teenager.
Yeah, regress in a way. Yeah. And I think it's really interesting for his parents. Like, he left when he was a young man to go off to war. Now he's come back a man with a slave brand tattoo and a shard blade. Like, imagine what? They've got no idea how to handle all of this. But I think it's so cool that he is in a very authoritative way. And as KP Dub said, he is Rashawn's soldiers, were like, no, sir, I know you want us to kill him, but he could absolutely clean the floor with us. So we should listen to him. That moment was fantastic. They registered that he was a badass. But then when Rashawn's like, kill him, why won't you take my orders? Why won't you do it? And he summons the shard blade. Like, Brandon Sanderson's writing sometimes is so like blockbuster movie moments, and you can just hear the soundtrack, like, the orchestra start to like zoom, fire up a little bit. You can see the camera angle of like his hand and light glowing around it, and he's summoning it, and then it panning up to his face where he's like, that's why. And you're just like, oh, amazing, cheers, rounds of applause, we love it. And then at the end he just flies off, right? And he's like, guys, I'm back. Mom, Dad, mwah, love you, miss you. Oh, I got a baby son, like a baby brother. I got a baby brother. What the hell? All right, well, now there's another reason to fight, and there's one other person that I have to save and protect. But he's like, I've got a job to do. I need this. You go there. You do this. Ooh. Look, I really had to do that. Like, inside, I actually did have to punch you in the face to settle some old debts that we have, but that was wrong of me, and I probably shouldn't do that. So let's just get over it from now. That moment was just fantastic. Yes, Darian.
He just also had to have the flex of doing the span read and them reading Dalinar address him as Captain Kaladin as well.
And the fact that like immediately
just like the
as soon as he summoned the shard blade, his role just he's whip.
But it's not just that he has a shard blade, it's like he's recognized as a captain, a dark-eyed captain in the army of one of the most powerful men.
Well, he's a Light Eyes now. That's the other thing. He's coming home. Yep, he is a Light Eyes.
Well, is it that his eyes get back dark the less he's using the stormlight, or it's like permanent light eyes?
He was out of stormlight for a few days before meeting his parents, and his eyes faded back to dark.
Oh, they had.
Yeah. Until he sucked in some more stormlight, and then he's light again, but it goes back.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it's not permanent,
Okay. So here he is. He's just like, he goes Super Saiyan, basically.
Yeah.
With a shard blade. Darren says, having a shard blade immediately raises your social status, which is why, like, in the last book, when he was presented with a shard blade, you're like, finally, he doesn't have to, like, continue to, like, prove himself over and over again. And he rejects it. And you're like, yes, academic.
Also, I believe last book, it was either the last book or the first book, Wit was having a conversation with Kaladin, and he said something along the lines of, Kaladin was complaining that it doesn't make sense that Light Eyes were treated so well. And Wit said, people have lots of discriminatory practices some make more sense than most. And so like, Wit knows about like, oh, there's like, even though the Radiants haven't been around for a very long time, he's very well aware somehow of like the fact that the Radiants had brighter eyes, and that's why they were shown more respect in the culture.
Oh, Vaden makes a great point. Do light eyes exist because they imbue stormlight at all times? Colleen's like, no, some people just have genetically light eyes. Yeah. And I think that that's an important thing as well, because, this is, you are born rich, you are born poor, you are born blonde hair, blue eyes, you are born dark hair, dark eyes, and you are then sentenced to whatever privilege or oppression that earns you. And you have done literally nothing to earn it or deserve it. Yes, Darian.
Yeah, and just to tie that back to one of the things from the previous book, we have is his name Talon or Talon, the Herald who is like imprisoned, and he's like dark-eyed, and like they don't want to believe this man is anything special. They think he stole the blade. They don't want to believe just because he's dark-eyed, and like he's like higher than a Night Radiant. But
that's not. They
don't want to believe him at all.
That's not the one. We've just had information about academics nodding. Yes, heralds were whatever-eyed. The herald that never broke.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
Academic. Go on.
I'm just saying, you can't say he never broke. If he never broke, we still wouldn't see him. Just saying.
Oh, I hear what you're saying now. So every time they were like sentenced to I'm thinking it's just hell. It's straight up hell. The hellscape. What's it called? It's
a damnation.
Brace.
Yeah. That all 10 heralds were basically like there and to suffer in a bid to keep the voidbringers entrapped. And then one by one, I think it's like they couldn't tolerate it, and he never broke. But that had a cost. And he remained there for millennia being tortured. 4 millennia. For 4,000 plus years, which is 3 Brandon Sanderson books. And that's how... Bartleby Prime says every time a herald breaks, a voidling gets its wings. We were discussing this off cam before you got here, Maude. The fact that all 10 were tortured until one gave in to start a new desolation. So what is...
And then it got to where like most of them couldn't even last a few years before someone would break. And
That's
so what it is they sort of trapped all the voidbringers in this damnation place, but they had to do it with themselves on the inside with them.
Mm-hmm.
It would eventually get captured and tortured until one broke, and when they like tried to run away from that realm, however that works, it would release the voidbringers and create a desolation. It got to where desolations were every few years, but when the 9 of them who had all broke in the past left, they left behind the one who had never broke yet.
For 4 millennia.
4,500 years.
And he's the Dark Eyes?
And they finally broke him, yes. And now, the other thing that they implied in that last chapter was that all of them are alive and on Earth now. The 10 original heralds are now free.
And we met the one that had been tortured for 4,000 years, and his mind has broken.
Yeah, he's like in a prison right now, or monastery or something, and in the previous book, and he doesn't have a shard blade. It's a different type of blade, right? It's like a honor blade or something like that. It's like a shard blade, but it's not.
He didn't pass it on. He hasn't passed that on. That was Nail that's passed it on to Zeth. Son Verlernen. Every single time, Lisa, and I'm going to do a video on it. You know I am. It's in my head every single time we talk about this book. What I'm talking about is a soundbite. It's a a trending sound on Book Talk at the moment about Zeth with Michael Kramer's narration with a fat beat behind it. So yeah, Nail is the other herald. So he has spent on and off time being tortured trying to capture all the voidbringers, and he is in, as we found out in Edgebringer, he's in denial. He's in denial about voidbringers coming back. So he is not in acceptance. He is in the denial phase, and that phase has probably lasted some time. But what he is doing, which is interesting, I don't know if we call this generational trauma because they never die, but it is sort of like how you have been treated and what has happened to you. How do you cope with it? And how do you then react to others around you? And I do find it interesting that Nail, the Herald of Justice, is now very quick to punish others to the point where it's practically consuming for him to roll out this, not necessarily punishment for the sake of punishment, but like a duty at whatever cost, right? And that cost is pretty ugly. So there you go. Academic said honor blades and radiant blades are both shard blades. Now, the radiant blades are the ones that work with synergy. So it's when the Spren has chosen their knight. So this is, oh my goodness, Rock calls her by her full name, Syl. This is Syl for Kaladin. This is Patton for Shallan. What other Spren have we met so far?
Naren and Gliss or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Naren got a shard blade like a katana. Gliss, I think, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does the Stormfather become a shard blade for Dalinar? Is that a question? That's a question.
Oh, that's got to be a battle axe. Tell me I'm wrong. That's gotta be a battle axe. Gliss, says Lisa. Let's keep it up saying alleged spread. Colleen says justice without mercy or humanity is brutal. Agree. You're an executioner, aren't you? You know. KBW says a Spren must want to bond, and then the Radiant must say the oaths. So if what's happened to, what is the history and legacy of Sadeas's shard blade?
Well, Sadeas, he got the shard blade at the end of Way of Kings from Dalinar. That was his price to pay for Bridgefort.
Oh, so that's from Shallan's brother, right? Sadeas has Shallan. No.
No. Amram's blade is from Shallan's brother.
In a flashback in this book, like 26 years ago, whatever, Dalinar finally wins his own shard blade. And that is the one that he hands over to Sadeas to free Bridge 4.
Oh.
Amaram's
has Shallan's brothers.
Yeah. That's a completely different blade, yes.
So Sadeas's gifted shard blade is called, is it Oathkeeper?
Oathbringer.
I thought it was Oathbringer.
Because Oathbringer was Dalinar's blade. Dalinar gave it to Sadeas. I was like, I'll give you this in exchange for Bridge 4. And when they're doing the investigation, they find the blade again. So then they know.
So Oathbringer is up for grabs then, but that's going to be a screaming shard blade because the Spren's dead.
Yeah. So there's a moment that Dalinar has cloth over the blade and picks it up, and he's still hearing the screams.
Yes.
Just a little muffled, but.
And now we've got the Stormfather as a guide to Dalinar for information. So once this is what's really tricky. Like, you're a Knight Radiant. You're technically a Knight Radiant. You have been selected by a Spren. This Spren basically gifts you with powers that you start to learn and master, and then you have to say the oath. Cool, I'd love to. What's the oath? You just know. Got it. I just know. I have You can transform into a weapon if I just say words that you will not tell me. Copy. And so we're kind of learning what these are. Oh, Toastposter asks, does Adolin have 2 shard blades? I thought he's only got the one and the plate. Sadius the Sunmaker, the last man to unite Alethkar, says Bartleby Prime. Oathbringer, which is also the name of the book that we think that Yasna is/has written. We see her pre-chapter quotes in part 1. Vaden says, what if you can't talk? Can you just say it in your heart, like lift, I guess? That's kind of what she says. So she's like, I haven't said them, but like, I live them. I believe them. And he's like, good enough. Academic says, I mean, he has all the shard blades that he won from the princelings in the camp. Oh my God, that Adolin battle fight moment. Oh, 3-on-1. Kaladin, can you help? What does he say? Oh, what is that absolute bonkers moment from Words of Radiance?
Oh, you mean when like
Honor is dead.
Honor is dead, but I'll see what I can do. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Those moments are honestly worth all of this book. Just so you know, Tim. We've got Honor Blades, not really sure what those are yet. So I feel like the origin story. So the Honor Blades were not the Heralds' blades. The Honor Blades are the Heralds' blades. Shard Blades were Spren that have sacrificed or died. I really am Iron Man has popped up in the YouTube in the chat there saying, I'm like 300 pages into this one. Didn't he give up all those blades and plates? And then awesome fight scene. Yeah, that parts of Words of Radiance was just heaven. Chapter 54, I think it was. I did a video on it. I loved it so much. Okay, so we're getting through all of that together. What was Lift's Spren's name again? Already forgotten.
Wendell.
Wendell and Lift. Shallan and Patton. Syl and Kaladin. Dalinar and Stormfather?
I guess it is.
J Bunk Rock said there's so many ancient orders to keep track of. There's the Knights Radiant, the Heralds, the Voidbringers, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's really hard to keep track of. J Bunk Rock, lovely to have you here in the chat. There's Daddy Dalinar and Daddy Storm, says Academic, who's also technically, dare I say it, oh, your Discord died. I can't look at you while I say you were also a daddy. That's how that works. I'm forgetting Yasna's Spren's name. Did we ever learn it? Yasna's Spren is that humanoid-looking thing, right? With like knife hands. It feels like a Doctor Who villain for some reason. But that's what, because like Yasna was like, I'm seeing this really weird shape. And then I think Shallan could also see it. Ivory. Hypocrite said, I thought she said it on the ship. I think she was conversing with her Spren to try and figure out the exit strategy, the trap that was set.
Yeah, like she does mention the name, but then she also says that specifically that like her Spren doesn't like her name being mentioned, and so they try to specifically try to keep it private. So that's why it's only mentioned like once.
Got it. Okay. Am I really Iron Man says, have you already discussed which Spren you would want? So we did go into detail about all the orders that we have seen thus far. And as a little refresher, because I feel like all of this is important, Wind Runners, which is what Kaladin and some of Bridge 4 are. Light Weavers, which is what Shallan is at the moment. Lift is the Edge Dancer. There are Truth Watchers, which is what Renarin is. Else Callers, which is what Yasna is. Bondsmiths, which is Dalinar's. And then Skybreakers, which is what Nail and Zeth currently are as well. We recognize that each of these orders have a main and a secondary power. And we were like, what would you want your 2 powers to be? And there is also a quiz on the Stormlight Archive website, I believe, where you can take a quiz to see what order you would actually be. Now, we did that book 1. having heard of none of the orders, and we all got our answers and we're like, this doesn't make sense. Anyway, now it kind of does more. So we can do that test again and see what our results are. Now that we've got a lot more information behind it. But Iron Man, I'm guessing with your name, flight would be one for you? What would be your powers? J Bunt Rock says, I want my very own Windle. What is it about Windle that you like so much? I think I like... So Syl reminds me of the little fairy in Fern Gully. Or Tinkerbell. Which of the Spren do you like so far? I think Storm Daddy for me. I'm going to give you visions and show you epic things, and then I'm going to not tell you your power, and then I'm like, okay, Daddy. Sounds good. Teach me. He's the only one at least wanting to have a conversation and get in it. Storm Daddy's got too much trauma for me, says Academic. Actually, yeah, please don't talk to me like that. Well, I'm going to talk to you like that a lot more now. Yeah. I like Patton. He thinks it's wrong to divide by 0. Colleen, there's no lie. That's so true. No mating. Syl even brought up, I feel like it was like 2 chapters apart. There was Patton being like, no mating, no mating. Patton's a bit of a buzzkill, agree. No mating. And then Syl was like, Kaladin, did you just see how that girl was looking at you? She wants to fucks you hard, just so you know, because it's in the eyes. And girl to girl, I can see that she wants you. He's what? What? Yeah, oh my God, Kaladin, everyone wants you. You're like kind of hot around here. She's young and she's like, ooh, love hot eyes. So that was like within a few chapters and I was like, wow. All the Spren are like, they're having the talk. And of course, Shallan's like beat red. And Kaladin's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Do you think that Syl has a crush on Kaladin? Yes. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Bartleby Prime says, I'm both impressive and it's both impressive and disturbing when Maude slips into Valley Girl. Oh my God, thank you. My least favorite one, and this is actually, it's devolving, the Valley Girl accent. There is a thing where they will make a noise after words, and it's probably my least favorite thing in the world. That and genocide. But like, they will say something and it'll be like, oh my God, have you seen like the new television show? It's like there's a last bit of air in the lungs and they just have to expel it. It's the worst thing ever. So like, turn to page 394. I don't know how that's happening. I don't know how that is a thing.
Please stop.
It's horrible. It's horrible. Don't ever do that. It's an exasperated vocal fry, says Greg. It's called rough breathing in ancient Greek.
This is an outrage.
Anyway, thank you, Jay Bunrock, by the way. 40 months. Do appreciate that. So many other questions that I want to get through. What were my chain of thought stuff? Let's talk about Kaladin seeing Parshmen as not monsters but victims. This is a really interesting turning point. This is not a one-size-fits-all situation that we have with an enemy. What is your theory on Parshmen? What is fantastic about them? The way that they communicate is different, their culture is different, how they look is different, and they can turn into different forms. That is really, really freaking cool. Now we're learning a little bit by little bit with why this happened or how it happened. More and more people are settling into a particular form, especially, I guess, through their relationship with humans, because there is a slave form. It's the sound the dungeon makes when Carl steps on gerbils. That's actually... What I'm looking for is... Can you hear the difference? I don't like that I'm... Don't cut that. Don't clip it. That was an educational lesson. That is not to be distributed onto the internet because I already get fucked up shit enough just by existing. I don't need to add fuel to the fire.
You can't tell the internet not to do something and then expect them to follow through.
KPW says Seb
Sorry,
from the
Maude.
future. Seb from the future has already pre-clipped it.
Yeah, 100%.
God damn it. But let's talk about what we know about voidbringers so far. So voidbringers are not parshmen. How does a parshman become a voidbringer? Is it through the spren? Is it a particular type of spren? Is it staying in war form or storm form, which has been evolved? Academic is struggling in this moment. And no, nothing. Okay. Okay. People who have read to this point, what do we know about voidbringers so far? Baz is like, must hold tongue. Does this include the interlude, says Happy Hypocrite? Yes, we do have Venli, Eshonai's sister. And Eshonai was the one who created Stormform, if I'm not mistaken. And Eshonai was on a big trajectory to front the war of the Parshendi, turning into Voidbringers. Am I right, or am I misinterpreting that whole thing? Is that a beer, Darren? Oh, I thought it was like a Guinness. What is that? Yes, Academic, you got thoughts? No, KPWs, you've got thoughts?
This is just my thoughts so far. The last couple chapters, we get a little bit more from the Stormfathers, like visions and stuff. But there are some sort of creatures that are reborn after they die generation after generation, and they're a type of spren or similar to a spren, and they're kind of brought on by the Everstorm and take over the Parshmen or Parshendi. That's my thought so far.
Parshmen are a vessel.
Yes, exactly. So they're almost like possessed by these other forms.
Consensual or not consensual? Is it a possession
or
is it
probably? I think that's why they had to be locked in damnation by the 10 Heralds, because there was no other way to stop them, because they just come back after they die over and over and over again. You can't kill them.
Body snatchers.
Yeah.
So Parshendi are victims in a whole new way as well. Parshendi are just getting...
Yeah, something about the Everstorm also did free them from their slave form. That's a question we still haven't answered.
Hypocrite says Venli thinks about the songs being different in her new form. Can communicate in a different or a new way. I love this part of book club where you know all the answers and you see us try to get there. The thing is, so many, the ones that really participate and have great insight and predictions and thoughts have all read the bloody book. So when we do this, it's like all the other people who are like me, where it's like, if you don't feed me this information, I have to speculate, then I will patiently wait until I'm told by the book. Basil's in here going, man, I will say, I don't know. This is a great conversation to have. Those that are just watching this and participating in chat only. So all 119 people that were watching that don't have access to seeing 20 people in a video call. For me, seeing everyone's faces in this discussion makes it so much better. And I try to pass on what's happening in there as best as possible. What is it like for a spectator to hear all of these voices and just see them as the names that pop up with Discord? What is that like, not being able to see them, I guess? Do you kind of understand? Do you feel the energy of when they're like in these little video boxes? Okay, Frito says normal. Cool. Iron Man's talking about the spren that they would want. Lol, I actually love all the spren. Dream blunt rotation, every single spren. Syl seems like the most powerful where I am. And in the book, where I am in the book, so I'm going to go with Syl, says Iron Man. I love that we are discussing what spren you would have as a dream blunt rotation. Stephanie says, by the way, in addition to this book, I also got the bonus book. That's Edge Dancer, or is it the bonus book for this month? The Kaiju Preservation Society, which we'll be reading on the last week of this month. K Frito says if they talk, we can tell, but if it's only just movement, they can't tell that there's like tension or things not being said or discussed. Bartleby says, having gotten a sneak preview, it is definitely more engaging when you can see other people's reactions. You did. You got a little sneaky peeky that one time, huh? You don't like it, Tim? Tim says, I'm nearly 100 pages into Kaiju Preservation Society, so it's almost quitting time. Tim quit Way of Kings infamously after 100 pages and refuses to touch a Brandon Sanderson books ever again.
It's bad. Sanderson is bad, but I'm enjoying Kaiju Preservation Society so far. Yay!
I am going in so dark. I selected a book knowing that it was short and that I want to try and interview John Scalzi. They were the only parameters with the selection of the book, and I will look up ratings, of course. I have no idea what we're in for, but I'm guessing there's Kaiju and they're in a preservation society, and it was enough for me. Yeah. Hooray for funny books.
It's fun so far.
K Frito said you picked right. KP Dubs is like, there's like 10 million readers that disagree with Tim, but that's what's so great about art.
Look, it's okay to have 10 million wrong people on this planet. 70 million people voted for Donald Trump.
I was going to say it. I'm glad you did. You can be wrong and still win. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, used for evil. You guys didn't see it. Basil gave a get off my lawn. J. Bunt Rock said he really quit after 15 pages of Way of Kings, but was peer pressured into reading up to 100. Still got the same answer though. Vaden, that was brave. That was brave, Vaden. Did you type that press send in when it started sweating?
Seems accurate.
Vaden says Maude wanted to see where her kind are being preserved. Mute. Where's the mute button? Mute. There we go. All right, you're in timeout. Academic says the rest of the people on the planet just haven't read the book. It's just Tim. Tim's the only one who has this opinion. You either have read it and you love it, or you haven't read it and you will love it, or you're Tim. Okay, good. Yeah. KB Dub says, yes, we do. We need to talk about Lunamore's family. Rock's family has shown up.
That is not true because unless I'm mistaken, Darian, or is it Terry, also doesn't like Sanderson.
Not Darren. Darren's here.
No, was it Darian? It was either Darian or
no,
Terry.
Darian loves it.
I'm not convinced he is the biggest and best thing.
Darian, some honest feedback from this end. You have been the most active in this group discussion thus far.
True.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
K Frito reminds us that it's Terry that hates Brandon Sanderson.
I'm not alone.
And Terry, he showed up for the pre-show, had a good chat. As soon as we talked about the book, bailed. Berkey says, the more of the books that I read, the less I like of the series. Where'd you get up to, Berks? KP Dub says, Rock's daughter song and his other daughter, other song, pretty song. Let's talk about Rock's chapter. How beautiful was it to understand that his name is not Rock at all? Which confused me for the first little bit. I was like, what? Essig Lowlander. Drink every time he says Essig Lowlander. You'll be like Vale after a night in the bar. Brush Kid says, also, hi, everyone. Long time no see. Lovely to have you here. Greg says, 2 versus 10 million. I like those odds. I will keep reading. J Bunt Rock says, but we can all agree that Red Rising is the best. Actually, J Bunt Rock, I think that Dungeon Crawler Carl has been the most received book. Oh wait, Tim didn't read those. But Jeff doesn't like
I didn't read them
Red Rising
yet.
I know you'll
read them yet.
I know you'll like them. I know you'll like
list.
them.
I just don't have time.
Yeah, I know you're gonna like those. Berkey has read all of the 5 books that are out currently for Stormlight Archive. Finished them earlier this year. Colleen says, isn't Song his wife and Beautiful Song is his daughter? KP Dub says it's Dungeon Crawler Carl, then Stormlight, then Red Rising, then Dresden. Ooh, that's a fun thing to do with the community. Rank the series that we've done from best to not worst. We don't do worst. Project Hail Mary is our most beloved book, followed by House in the Cerulean Sea. They are standalones. Cerulean Sea is not, but according to me, it is a standalone. That is also a standalone. Bobiverse has been mentioned again. Fuck, are they short books too? I'm trying to lock in the rest of the year. I know we're going to do Bobiverse. I know this is happening. Darren says Harrow is my favorite so far. Darren, you are, without fail, the curveball always with these books because I couldn't stand Harrow. It's your favorite. I prefer...
Dungeon Crawler Carl's still probably my favorite, but I love Harrow. I love Gideon, and I love Nona. I'm eagerly awaiting the fourth book in the series whenever that may come.
I liked the original trilogy of Red Rising. You prefer the second...
I vastly prefer the second series over the first.
Yep.
I just don't care for Darrow.
Yep. Who is the most Darrow-esque character in Stormlight Archive? That's why you like the books.
Kaladin.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's great. Bridge 4 are his howlers. Unwavering loyalty. Kaladin is Darrow with less ego. Zelda agrees.
Unless violent tendencies.
Yeah, he wants to save. Oh no, Darrow does want to save everyone too, though. Darrow has chronic saving syndrome.
Yeah, but Darrow also is much more willing to like murder everyone to get what he needs to do. Like he's like.
Darrow's got a bit of Dalinar in him in that way.
Yeah.
Blackthorn.
A bit of Blackthorn.
Blackthorn. Yeah.
Dalinar, Blackthorn.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Adolin and Cassius. Need I say more? My Golden Labrador baked potato boys that I love so much. Do I love my Shallan and Adolin chapters? So much. So much. They're great. He's great. I love seeing that he's a little insecure as well. He's nervous too. Beautiful moments. Kelsia is more like Darrow, says Lisa. Ooh, we enter a new trilogy into the arena. We technically have done Mistborn as well, but that was for Geek Bomb book chat. You just love seeing Cassius finally get the girl. Yes, I do. He's met his match as well. I still don't understand how people walked away from Adolin so many times. That math don't math. And that's Brandon Sanderson not understanding what it's like to be a golden Labrador baked potato. And that's fine. He's not. But as someone has specialized in golden retriever baked potato men in my life, I can tell you that doesn't.
No, that's Brandon Sanderson recognizing that people from Adolin's culture don't appreciate golden baked potato dudes. That's all it is.
Golden retriever. I put a bit of Labrador in there. Golden retriever baked potato. GRBP.
GRBP energy. Let's go.
GRBP energy. GRBP energy. I said I've already lost it. Cool. That's okay. Baked Potato Men, says Bartleby Prime. City, who used to be in this community, who absolutely, in the Members Plus. Oh no! Who absolutely made a mark when we were talking about Red Rising and Way of Kings, said, wow, Maude, you really do just love golden retriever baked potato brain men, don't you? And I laughed hysterically and then said yes. Darren said, Labradors are great. I had a dumb one growing up. So lovable. Exactly. Now you get it, Darren. Now you get the appeal as well. Put a baked potato in there. Mwah. Perfect. What we're missing, though, is the 8 abs, guys. This is the important part. I don't even like blonde guys. That is not my aesthetic at all. I do not. Maud, stop oversharing. Greg says, Gerberput phonetically. Yes. Take the others who says, GRBP? I'm learning so much today. Yeah, too much. I gotta stop. Bianchi says Rock's full name is inspired by Hawaiians, and the full name is, you said it earlier, Numuhuku Makakaialalunamo. Crushed it. Like I say, I give Michael Kramer a lot of shit. You wanna go for it?
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, let me find it in the chat. Well, you keep talking and then I'll.
Hold on, let me do it. It's here. Can you click that?
Numu huku maka akalki aya lunamor. No, that was terrible.
No.
That's good. That's good.
Melakaliki Maka? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to do it. That person just got it.
Go KP. Team effort here. Team effort. Let's get back into some of the things that are happening here. So what stood out for me? Let's talk about Dalinar getting married with the blessing of the Stormfather. I thought that Elhokar had a really beautiful moment here. So Elhokar's journey in Way of Kings and even in Words of Radiance was that he more and more was understanding that he was a really inept king. He was not good at his job. But Dalinar also recognized that he was good at the job and kept kind of stepping on Elhokar's toes. Elhokar, time and time again, would make terrible decisions, and Dalinar was almost like an advisor to Elhokar. And it just got to the point where Dalinar was basically in charge. And Elhokar, instead of going so far the other way, being like, no, I'm in charge, you're threatening my position, I'm going to destroy you, he actually conceded. And I thought that this was a really beautiful, smart, humble moment from Elhokar, because we all know, having been a spectator in this journey, CT Bonsk, that Dalinar's the right choice. Dalinar's the one making all of these decisions. And we've seen so many times bad kings make bad decisions, try to stay in power. Game of Thrones. Who kept trying to kill the king to usurp, right? Elhokar sort of announcing and being strategic about it as well. Alethkar is going to be a different place to Urithiru. And so Elhokar is like, cool, you can actually be the king of Urithiru and that's your domain. And you are now like a high king. So I am still king and we're not going to disrupt everything so much, but you are a high king. High king. So I thought that was a really beautiful moment. KP says Elhokar is finally growing up. Maybe almost getting killed woke him up. Yes, as we all remember, the end of the last book, Moash tries to assassinate him. And Elhokar gets attacked but survives. What does everyone else think about this moment? Did you like it? I thought there was a lot of beauty in this. It seemed like it could have gone the other way, and I'm really glad it didn't. Yes, Colleen?
It was really sweet of Elhokar, but there was also, it was kind of bittersweet because Elhokar was realizing his own shortcomings. I think it was a way of forgiving Dalinar for just taking over. And I think Dalinar really began to recognize and feel bad about just how much he had taken over and pushed Elhokar out.
Yeah. Dalinar is really oblivious to his actions. He is not strategic. He's a bit of a bulldozer. KP Dubs.
Just to expand on that, because all the other kingdoms don't see Dalinar, they only see the Blackthorn, this horribly monstrous guy that will just destroy everything to get what he wants. They're all seeing that Dalinar strong-armed the king out of the way to take over and think he's coming for them next.
He's going to conquer again. Yeah.
It could have been where him and Elhokar had a conversation and Elhokar came to the understanding like, look, you need to lead everybody, but I can be a figurehead. I can negotiate because they'll talk to me. They're not going to talk to the Blackthorn. So kind of like what Colleen was saying, he doesn't understand some of the nuances of like interpersonal communication, and that's costing him.
Oh, he's always sucked with that. Sadeas was spreading so many rumors about him in the last book and he didn't care. And it's like, No, my dude. This is a really important thing. He is using political intrigue, strategy, and gossip to render you stupid and for people to not trust you. Like, you only know swords on a field. This is a whole other war that you are not equipped to fight. Pianki says all the world knows is Blackthorn. Dalinar's brother was a diplomat and politician. Yeah, and that's why he was king. And I think these beautiful flashback moments are Gulliver kind of being like, hi, my brother, we got to put that sword down. We don't need to conquer absolutely everything. When is enough enough? And Dalinar's like, one more. By the way, there's an assassin there. So now they're dead. I want steak. I think that's like the only comment I've made in the fable where it was like, I thought it was so funny. It's like he's just trying to get the attention of someone so he can get a knife to cut his steak, ends up having to kill an assassin, and then sits down and he's like, steak's good. And it reminds me of the Adam Driver clip where he's like, good soup. He was like, good steak. And I was like, oh, that's so fun. Pork. It's pork this whole time. Yes, thank you, Lisa. Good pork. I thought that was a lot of fun. Dalinar had to use the visions from the Stormfather to get that queen to talk to him. Yeah, he's trying to use sort of like formal structure, formal language to be like, hello, I would like to meet so that we can unite and I can just teleport all of my soldiers into your kingdom because like there's a big bad, but like that's what needs to happen. And they're like, easiest no ever. You're a conqueror asking to just teleport all your army into my like express ticket to conquering. And it's not until I definitely read your fable quote as good soup. It's exactly my intention. Good pork. And it's not until like Dalinar can actually get in the room and express his passion and frustration, and he can kind of really get across the humanity side of this. He's desperate. He's scared. And it's only then, and yes, with the help of the Stormfather, that's kind of a beautiful thing. It's like Nabari. Dalinar's like worships the ground he walks on. It's the sweetest thing. But he's like, hey, can you, she's scribing. Can we just show her? Don't tell me what to do. Okay, well, now she's in. Can you teleport? Like, can you show people these visions? Yes. Well, that's what we mean. That's what we need to be doing. So that's the way that he's trying to get a alliance happening. The Teravanian king? What's that? Teravangian king. We already know he's a bad guy. We have had a POV or an interlude chapter where we kind of know this guy's deal. He's working with the voidbringers, no? He's got this whole other batshit thing that's going on. I don't know if this is another Night Watcher curse or whatever's going on, but every single day... Oh, you just saw real time. Me get it. You just saw real time. Oh my God, guys. What would happen if you wake up a different person? They talk about in Edgebringer. What would happen if every day it's a new soul? As King Teravangian, isn't it? Okay. Go me. Who else got that before me? Who got that when I did just now? Who has no idea what the fuck I'm talking about? What is the other option for anyone else to raise their hand? Okay, let's go back. In Edge Dancer, Lift meets and befriends a guy who's literally made of Kremlings. He can't die. He a herald? He's something else. He's sleepless. He's basically, I picture him as like Sandman from Spider-Man, but it's made of little crabs. He poses to Lift. Do you sleep? Do you wake up the same person? What if every single day it was a new soul? What if every day you were a new person? And we had a little like, oh, that's kind of cool. And now I'm like, yeah, well, Teravangian's different because like every day his intellect changes. And I'm like, why would someone's intellect change? And I had that click, that beautiful click moment. Pianki says, I think she said that new souls inhabit Teravangian's body every day. Darren says, I really enjoyed the conversation between Taravangian and Dalinar. Oh, Vanessa just got it. Oh. I don't know more than that. I don't know why this is happening unless Taravangian is a sleepless, and the sleepless and the voidbringers have some sort of old intertwined past that have been millennia old. So when you go to sleep, Jimmy, you wake up with a different soul in you. The vessel's the same. The person is the same. The soul is different. So I guess more and more we're learning that voidbringers are inhabitants, right? It's a body snatch situation. Voidbringers are using Parshmen to create voidbringers. So Taravangian is a voidbringer. Final answer. I'm looking at you, academic, and I know you are taking all your energy. Oh no, you're not even listening. I'll try again. Taravangian is a voidbringer. Confirmed. Okay, Colleen's done it for me. All right, cool. I feel like I'm on the right track there. Colleen's face is... So, cool. Should we talk about how Spren are captured in Fabrials and are also slaves? Yes, we should. What was really interesting, it was Yasna, Light Eyes, royalty, privilege her entire life, sees it as, well, yeah, they're useful and we're using them.
Yeah, she basically sees them as like trolls, like in terms of intelligence. So she doesn't care about what they want.
You ride a horse to get from A to B. You use a Spren and capture them in a tiny little box so that you can use their power. Yeah? I think we are really starting to recognize and understand Spren, what they are, how they're being treated, and I do think that there is a correlation with Spren. And I mean, look, actually, there is no prejudice with slavery, is there? If you are a human, you can be enslaved. Kaladin has a slave brand. If you are a Spren, you can be enslaved and you can be captured in Fabrials. If you are a Parshman, you can be enslaved by humans. So it's like, this is basically what the fundamental issue of war is. Parshmen want to fight back for their enslavement and their bad treatment by the humans. Humans want to fight back because we suck? No, the storms. The storms. And KP Dub says, and maybe some Spren are like bugs or whatever, but we don't know. Rock buds have been brought up so many times. Nature around it has been brought up so many times. There's different creatures. These Kremlings and the Chull and the giant crustacean creme things where they got the stones to begin with. Those big giant gems that were in the Shattered Plains that they would hunt.
Chasm Fiend?
The Chasm Fiend. Chasm Fiend's just a giant Kremling, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, I think it was like a big bug from Starship Troopers.
So do I. Absolutely.
It's sort of like something along the evolutionary chain, right? You have, like in our world, you have like small capuchin monkeys, and then you have silverback gorillas, and then you have us. Technically, we all evolved from apes.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like that evolutionary.
So Spren is the... Oh, Adrian23964 has popped on by. Thank you for the follow. First time chatter says, everything has a Spren. So Spren is a personified force, if we're tying it back to Star Wars. All right. Cool. Tables and chairs have Spren. Emotions have Spren. Do people have Spren? Do humans have Spren? Not that they're aware of. Not until they tap into... Not unless they've been selected. Not unless they've been selected. Rock can see all Spren. Rock can see all Spren. We're going to talk about that. Rock can see them all. So what's Rock got and Lift got? Because Lift can touch Spren. And Rock can see Spren.
Rock is just enlightened, you know. He isn't airsick.
Except he can't see Renarin's Spren. Because Renarin doesn't have a Spren. Renarin is something else. I'm telling you.
Didn't someone mention his Spren?
Yeah, Gliss. But why can't Rock see Glith?
Exactly. We haven't seen Gliss. We've only had Renarin's claims that he exists.
Also, Iron Man's been popping in the and Cameron Hickens back as well, talking on YouTube, saying old Dalinar is kind of like Darrow. Iron Man says, coming in very late, have you read Name of the Wind and the Kingkiller Chronicles? Yes. Vaden said, yeah, we did. We did Name of the Wind, and I did an interview with Patrick Rothfuss on it as well. I sure did. I think that was with Nerdist Book Club, though. Iron Man also says, the image of the Stormfather, the embodiment of the world's ferocious constant storm, manifesting in front of the entire wedding party to marry them, struck me as both beautiful and funny. But this is the thing, like, there's only a handful of witnesses, but he's like, oh yeah, by the way, the All-Father is dead, the Stormfather married me, and the dead king's ex-wife, who is my sister-in-law. But like, we're good, yeah? We're cool. And he's like, friends for life who are ardents are like, I don't know how to tell you this. Shut up. Stop doing things like this. This is blasphemous. This is heresy. You are doing way too much, way too fast, and it will disrupt everything. KB Dub says, oh my God, the interlude with the romance novels. Academic said that was a valid crash out, though, to be honest. Yeah, but like, that's only if you understand social construct, social order. And he doesn't. He doesn't at all. He does not get it. It worked for Henry VIII. Why not Dalinar, says Bartleby Prime. Oh, that's not a good, that does not bear well for Nabari. Iron Man also says Taravangian is listening to dying breaths to get prophecies, and I think he thinks that the end justifies the means. And then AP just pops in to say, click that like. It's so funny. Click that like. Bing. And then you guys, little hearts pop up. That's very, very sweet. We're actually running out of time. I'm a bit late on this. I love the conversation between Dalinar and Taravangian as well. The question of ethics and leadership always intrigue me. I think that I had a theory, and that's that, I mean, obviously, Blackthorn has damaged Dalinar's current day reputation enough, but I somehow think Taravangian is pulling strings as well to isolate everyone else from allying with Dalinar and Alethi. Alethi? Alethkar? Oh my God, there's just so many. Healthcare, says Greg. Yeah, something like that. So I'm wondering if like Taravangian is pulling strings behind the scenes to isolate Alethkar so that they're easier to pick off. That is my theory that I have. We will see. Vanessa said the ethics discussion reminded me of The Good Place. I loved it. And then You're a Wizard, Larry, great name, has popped in, first time chatter, saying, oh my God, I followed because of Dungeon Crawler Carl, but I love the Cosmere. I'm so glad you're doing these too. Larry, we are up to book 3. We have done books 1, 2, and 2.5. Edge Dancer was our bonus book last month. We're doing Oathbringer this time around. And hopefully in September, I'll be interviewing Brandon Sanderson. So very much looking forward to that. Iron Man agrees and says, yeah, that Taravangian is sowing discord. So we'll see what that's about. We're only a third of the way through. The next portion, Lisa, do you have the chapters in front of us? It should have, I put them in the fable as well. We've read up to 38 for this discussion. Our next discussion will be chapters up to 85. We're reading 50 chapters. Fuck. Are you kidding? First one is up to chapter 38. The next one's up to chapter 85. 39 to 85. Oh, it's just a cheeky 46 chapters. It's just 46 chapters. What are you guys doing this weekend? Yeah, nothing now.
I was doing something. Now I have to cancel everything.
Cancel everything. 46 chapters.
Working. I'm working.
Well, you're not even reading the books.
Yeah, no, I don't have to deal with it. So lucky me.
Vanessa says it's actually the same amount of pages, 411-ish pages, 411 pages. Let's read a book this next week, everyone. An entire book, pretty much. So reading up to chapter 85. Darren will be drinking beers and reading. K. Frito, thank you. Who won this week's giveaway? Let's read more books. So what's really, really cool is that we're trying to do more giveaways in the Discord. Yet another reason why you should stop on by. We are on the path to 2,000 Discord members with Maude's Book Club. I will say, for 2,000 people sitting in a Discord with about maybe a sixth of them are active, there's still relatively no drama at all. It's really nice. People just talk about the books that they're currently reading. We post memes. We share links. It's really quite lovely. It's really nice. There are other Patreon perks as well. If you're a $5 member, you unlock channels from the Discord. You get to ask questions to all the authors that I interview, including Pierce Brown. Brandon Sanderson's coming up, so you'll be able to ask him questions. You get the show doc as well to put in your favorite thoughts and quotes. And you get double entries into giveaways if you join the Greg gifted more subs here in the community to Ms. Foucault. That's not a swear count. Alex Speed, Garrot, Phoenix, and Katzy. You all just got gifted a sub thanks to Greg. If you're in here, make sure you say thank you because we are nice. We are nice around here. Tim says, can I ask Brandon Sanderson a question? No. You know what? You can write it in the doc. You have that privilege. You can write it in the doc. Will I read it? Probably not. It really does depend on the question. If you're like, Mr. Sanderson, are you having a nice day? I'd probably read that out. Mr. Sanderson, do you realize that you will write 4 million words and I'll never read another one again for the rest of my life? I probably wouldn't ask that question. But there you go. You've got the access to that. If you pay for Members Plus, you get access to the video call and are a part of the verbal discussions that we do for each book and bonus book every single month as well. And we also have a merch tier where, as a community, design a unique item for merch, whether it's a t-shirt or a hoodie or a tote bag or a mug, and you can't buy it. So I like it when we do little in-jokes for that. Zelda's made an appearance so many times, my dog as well. So they're all the perks that we have. Discord.gg/Maude Garrett is how you enter the Discord. Pop on by. You're guaranteed a warm welcome. That's what's really cool about this. Mr. Anderson. We gave away books for Honey Eater. Did we do an announcement? Here we go. We have partnered with Tor Books to gift 5 free physical copies of Honey Eater to our wonderful community. If you want to look up Honey Eater, it's actually by Kathleen Jennings. She lives in Brisbane, which is where I grew up. It's a really beautiful cover. There's a website actually, maudsbookclub.com. We did a little article on the book if you want to learn more about. You go to the book feed. Here it is. Let's talk about the book. Oh, basically, you got to be a member of the Discord. Members get 2 times the entries. Merch members get 3 times the entries. We're drawing it today. Honey Eater has been getting rave reviews from the author T. Kingfisher, saying it's lush and atmospheric and gorgeously written. It is a horror fantasy. It's a cautionary tale about the long-buried secrets in a small town. And the synopsis and a Q&A with Kathleen Jennings is on the site. Head to maudsbookclub.com and check out the book feed there. The winners have been drawn. It is a random selection, and our winners are Goodnight Moon, Cheyenne, who's part of the book club here, Pages and Phases, who's Amanda, KP Dubs. KP Dubs, you won. How many times have you won for a Maude's Book Club giveaway?
2.
Hey! And Shayna Q, you all will be sent a physical copy of the book. So someone from Maude's Book Club will reach out to you to get your physical address so we can get those books sent out this week. Oh, there is also there's not a Goodreads Discord. Oh yeah, we got a Goodreads. There you go. I'm on Goodreads. The club is on Goodreads. And yes, there is a Game On tier, but I'm not going to keep promoting that because I think its days are numbered, at least until the end of the year. But we've been playing a Dungeon Crawler Carl tabletop RPG, which is awesome. it's just really hard to get everyone available at the same time. And then we also play a video game once a month, and it's also really hard to find a video game that everyone wants to play in co-op. So I want to explore the Dungeon Crawler Carl tabletop though, because that's just freaking sick. It's a lot of fun. And Tim, who hasn't even read Dungeon Crawler Carl, plays the Dungeon Crawler Carl tabletop RPG. I sounded like Cascadia. Oh, amazing. A little bit there at the end. Okay, Frida says, your community streams are so fun. They are, but there is like I mean, if we can sort one a month, we're crushing. It's just schedules. It's very, very hard, including my own. Always a bit difficult. So there you go. Winners of the Honey Eater physical copies of the book. It is a fantasy horror book by an author living in Brisbane. I'm looking at the show chat as well. That's for members. We will put the link to the Knights Radiant quiz that's happening, which is a lot of fun. Vaden, thank you for posting that in there. But yeah, tell your friends, especially if you like Dungeon Crawler Carl, Red Rising, Stormlight Archives, Murderbot. There are a lot of the books that we've covered already, and we're pretty much locked for the rest of the year as well. And so we'll make sure that we keep getting that information out to you. We have had a couple of people. One person has left Maude's Book Club, and we've hired a few more. So we've got a lot new people. So this will be, I still haven't KP dubs. This will be a learning area. So if we need reminding, please prod, because there's a lot that happens with Maude's Book Club. There you go. Okay, so who should we raid into? Good sesh. Read up to chapter 85. We'll meet same time next week. My new friend from Comic-Con, she does a podcast with Hector Navarro called Dork Souls. She's a nerd. Her name's Lisa Wallen. Her handle here is Lisa Lullen. She's just chatting at the moment, but she's been playing some video games. She's a comedian as well, and she's taller than me. It will be the same rock soup, Vanessa. Needs more salt. Enjoy. I'll see everyone in the Discord throughout the rest of the week. Lisa Wallen. Bye.
So funny.
I was saying Talon.